Hey guys, it's Ivory. Welcome to my channel. So today I will be doing something really simple. It's been done multiple times by many people. I'll be doing 5-minute makeup. Now, even though it's been done a lot, the reason I wanted to do this is because one, I asked you guys on Instagram what types of videos you'd like to see from me more, and it was between colorful eye looks and beginner friendly videos, and it was split half and half basically. It was like 5 votes leaning towards colorful looks, but for the most part it was pretty much half and half. So I wanted to do a beginner friendly tutorial today. And two, the reason why I wanted to do this is because a couple months ago I watched this beauty guru with millions of subscribers do a 10-minute makeup look, and then she had the gall to say, by the way, I did my brows off of camera because that itself would take 10 minutes, and now I'm gonna do the rest of my face under 10 minutes. And I'm like, then this doesn't count, because the whole look should be under 10 minutes, not everything minus your brows. Like, that doesn't count. And I feel like a lot of big beauty gurus say that it's gonna be 5 to 10 minutes, but it's really not. It might be for some of them because they already do so much in a certain amount of time that they can fit more in 5 minutes because they're just used to it, and they can fit a lot more in 5 minutes because they're more advanced. But for an everyday consumer, I think a lot of what they do, such as like filling in brows or applying false lashes, is quite unrealistic. So I wanted to do a true, my interpretation of 5-minute makeup. Now, even though the tutorial itself is going to take over 5 minutes, it really does take me 5 minutes to do everything. Just know that it's going to be longer because I'm going to be talking you through it, giving you my reasonings why I do something, and the look itself is going to be extremely bare bones. It's going to be extremely simple. I'm going to be sacrificing steps to save time. It's basically going to look like what I would like to look like if I just rolled out of bed, but I don't look like that because Jesus feels the need to keep me humble. But it essentially is what I would like to look like on a no makeup basis. Before we get into the video, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I post new videos every Wednesdays and Sundays and post occasional bonus videos throughout the week. And if you'd like to be able to vote on what types of videos you'd like to see from me, as well as tell me what I can improve on, be sure to follow me on my social media. Both my Twitter as well as my Instagram are both _ivorycherry. And without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. Before I even start my makeup, I always add a moisturizer. I use the Neutrogena face moisturizer. It has SPF in it. And sometimes I also use the one that is for combo and oily skin. It has a pink label, I believe, but I'm currently using the one with SPF on it just because I like to have sunscreen under my base, and none of my products have SPF in it. If I'm in a rush, I'll put on moisturizer and that will sort of act like my primer, so I'm gonna skip primer altogether. For foundation, it's really important to me that it is very full coverage, great for oily skin, and long lasting. So I'm gonna mix in both the Maybelline Superstay as well as the CoverGirl True Blend Matte Made Foundation. I love both of these on their own, and together they're just even better. So if I have all the time in the world, I will use my Juno & Co sponge just because I love the finish that it gives on my face, and I also use less product. The reason why I use a brush when I am in a rush that rhymed. Hey. But the reason why I use a brush is because I feel like with a sponge, there's more up and down motion, and there's just too much air time, versus with a brush, you're down on the surface the entire time. So it's a shorter amount of time to cover the entire face. I don't know if that's true. I've never actually timed myself, but in my head, that's what I think about. I think there's too much time up in the air versus using a brush is just 100% on contact with the surface. So that's what I'm thinking in my head. Maybe I should actually time it. Now, my 5 minutes is based on the fact that I have acne and oily skin. So the most important thing for me is that I have an even base and that it's gonna stay in place. For someone that's drier, that doesn't have this issue, or someone that doesn't have acne, they may skip foundation altogether, in which case I am very jealous that you get to do that, but that's not the world I live in. And if you watch any of my tutorials, you know I almost always leave my under eyes because I go in with concealer. If I am in a rush, I skip concealer completely, and since this is a full coverage foundation, it goes on my lids as well as on my under eyes, and I'll kind of just stipple it in. And I save some time here too because I'm not picking up an item and then adding another application of product. I get 2 things done at once. And yeah, you're not gonna have super bright under eyes, but you're in a rush, so we have to prioritize what's important. Fortunately for me, my under eyes are not very purple, they're not very deep set. I don't really need a full coverage under my my eyes. I've been very lucky in that sense. So like I said, you just alter this to what's important for you. All right, so now that my base is nice and even, I'm going to go ahead and set it with a damp sponge. I have to set my entire face or else this entire step of foundation was completely useless, because in like 4 or 5 hours, it'll look really bad and it'll start creasing. And also, I really don't like the way foundation feels when it's unset. Like there's a little bit of tackiness and it ruins the rest of the steps, because if I'm applying bronzer and blush and stuff, it just doesn't glide on the same way as it would if it was set versus unset. All right, so now that everything is set, I'm gonna be honest, I would totally be fine with just wiping away the bake and heading out the door. This is the most important thing to me, is just having an even base and making sure it stays locked. And this itself would probably take me about 3 minutes. So at this point, I have 2 minutes left. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to contour. I'm going in with my Benefit Hoola bronzer, and I'm just gonna lightly add some dimension back into my face. And I'm not gonna be very structured with this, because usually I'll carve out my cheekbones, but on a day that I'm in a rush, we're skipping that step. So I don't want it to go down too low. So I just kind of make it faint so that if it's sloppy, it's not super noticeable. I'm also gonna lightly contour my nose and my jawline as well. And then with the same brush, I'm actually gonna use that and apply that to my lid. You could just get an eyeshadow brush and use your bronzer, but I feel like if I just use this brush, then I save time. I know it's only seconds, but you save time from having to put down the brush you're using and pick up a new one and then put it back down when you're doing just your eyeshadows. So I know it seems like a really trivial thing, but all these little things that I do, they add up time. Time that you probably need to either warm up your car or pack your lunch or just to sleep more. I mean, when you're tired, sleeping those extra couple of minutes means everything to me. All right, next I'm gonna blush. I'm using the Milani Luminoso. I like always use this, but what I really like about it is it has a sheen to it, so I don't have to highlight, even though I never highlight, but it does give some life back to the face and it gives a really nice glow. And then once I'm done blushing with the same brush, I'm just gonna wipe away the bake. I don't ever notice that there's pink all over my face. It just kind of mixes in with the setting powder and it kind of just ties everything together. All right, so next off for the brows, I'm just taking a spoolie and I'm taking out the setting powder that is in them, because I can tell there's lots of powder. And I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline Brow Precise Fiber Volumizer. It is tinted and I'm just gonna run it through and give it a little bit of shape and lift and volume. I'm fortunate enough that my brows are kind of thick and full on their own. I don't need to do too much to them and I can get away with just a brow gel. I got 99 problems with my brows, ain't one. Okay, next off we have mascara. I'm just gonna use the Ico Lash Alert mascara. It's just gonna be one coat to the tops and both the bottoms. I'm not gonna lie, the mascara for me is the longest part of my makeup routine, just because I don't like them to look really clumpy and I'm quite particular about the way that they look if I'm not gonna wear falsies. So when I worked at a salon and when I worked at a cubicle desk, I always had my tube of mascara there, and when I got into work, mascara would be the first thing that I apply because I knew it took so long, so I would skip that step when I'm home and do the rest of my face, and then when I get there, I would apply my mascara at my leisure and get paid to do it. And I don't feel guilty about it, because how many of you wait to go to work so that you can poop? Everybody does it. You literally get paid to shit on the clock. All right, and then lastly, we're gonna do lips. This really varies day by day. Sometimes I do nothing, sometimes I add a clear gloss, sometimes I add a liquid lip. So today I'm gonna add a liquid lip. This is the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit Matte Lipstick in the shade Give Me Mocha. This is the most unimportant step to me, so sometimes I'll just throw something in my bag and apply it later. All right, and lastly, we're gonna set everything. I'm using the Milani Make It Last setting spray. And you want to set everything so that all your hard work, all 5 minutes of it, didn't go to waste. And this is the final look, guys. It's very easy, very simplistic. Whether you're actually in a rush or you just really like natural looking makeup, this look is perfect for both of those situations. If you liked this video, don't forget to like it and feel free to comment down below what other types of videos you'd like to see from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!